Well, I guess it's obvious from the title of this video, the news that I have to deliver. No, Phil's not dead. He's actually doing pretty good, all things considered. So, quick backstory. I lost touch with Phil over the last winter into the spring and summer because his phone got stolen, and then he didn't have my number written down, and then he got another phone. I think he got stolen. So there's only one person that I know that knows him, and Phil is about 90 miles away from me, 80 or 90 miles away from me, and so I can't drive my car, because I use it for business, and I'm always in it, and it has those 40 series low profile tires, and Phil's house is so far down off the beaten path, it's just potholes and sharp rocks, and I'm not about to try to drive the car down there. But that's a pretty weak excuse. I could have gotten down there. But anyway, I kind of had a feeling he was okay. He's done that before several times. We just kind of lose touch and then we get back together. Well, his sister, that's not actually his sister, called me a couple of weeks ago and said that he's had all this stuff going on and had a new phone number. So I got that. So got reconnected with Phil, and she alluded to the fact while we were talking that all this bad stuff happens, and then said he had a couple cars stolen, then another car stolen. So I knew when she said that one of them had to be that Plymouth. And so those, by the way, out there on the line are not the tree swallows. They've already left. Those are northern rough-wing swallows. They're filling in for the other ones. But anyway, so I knew that was probably the case, and so I talked to him on the phone, a couple times. He didn't say anything about it. Told me the whole story about that Lincoln, which is still running, if you can believe that. It's the one, somebody stole it, got in a high-speed pursuit, and had to shoot the tires out or put spike strips down, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So he needs a wheel, he needs this, needs inner fenders, et cetera, but he didn't say anything else about the other car, so I didn't ask him. So today I went down and bought a lawnmower from a coworker of mine, and I was just down in that area, so I tried to call Phil. Of course, his phone's been turned off again. So I thought, well, I'm in the truck. I'm just going to pop on over to his house and drop in on him. And I got down there. Of course, his Lincoln's there, but the other car's not. So I said, well, your sister gave me the scoop that the car got stolen. So I said, is it gone? He says, yeah, as far as let's say, know somebody had it in Atlanta. So anyway, that's the deal in a nutshell. 87 Gran Fury has met its demise at the hands of Uncle Phil. And, I've said it before maybe on a video, that when cars and trucks go to Phil's house to die, they never come back. I think Phil has gotten from me 7 different vehicles, several trucks, a few different cars. The green Plymouth. The green Plymouth came back. That was an exception, but that was only because I intervened. But if you leave them up there long enough, they either get repossessed or blown up or stolen. And, so he has nothing. He has nothing that I've ever given him left. Nothing. Or sold him. I gave him a couple of them. I sold him all the rest of them. So none of it's all gone. It's all gone. So that's that. It's the end of the road. It's gone. So it's still, still titled. So as I've made Uncle Phil videos and put them up on YouTube, people have periodically asked me, or they've kind of alluded to the question of why don't, if he's incapable of taking care of himself, why don't I intervene? And why don't I help him out? And why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? And, you seem to have all the answers of what he should do, but you don't do any of it to help him. And that's true. That's true because, I know what I would do if anything like that happened to me, and I think everybody else knows what they would do. But Phil is an interesting case, and I'll try to explain it. First thing is Phil's emotional development probably stopped about age 14 or 15. He's intellectually um, repressed or regressed. I don't want to say the R word. It's not nice to say. He's developmentally disabled mildly. So, if you're looking at it like, well, all these bad things happened to Phil, why didn't he get it? Why don't you talk to him? Why doesn't he understand when you talk to him? Believe me, guys, I've tried all that. I've tried for years. And there is no shaming him into realizing what he did wrong. There is no explaining. There is no getting mad at him. It's not there. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have the emotional or psychological capability he understands that something bad happened. He's capable of that, but he doesn't if this would happen to most people, there's a certain percentage that would say, well, it's like ice cream. Oh well, it's too bad. I'll get another one. That's kind of why he looks at it. And then there's people on the opposite end of the spectrum, like myself, unfortunately, that say if somebody did that to me, I wouldn't rest until I made them suffer and pay more than they've ever paid before, and swear they'll never do it again. Whatever. But you can't do that either. So anyway, hang on a second. We'll turn that air conditioner off. As I was saying, anyway, he does not have the capability to understand anything about what happens other than it just something bad happened. Somebody took something from him, and that's it. He doesn't have any. He can't conceptualize, I guess you would say, how to make it not happen in the future. So it's like I said, he looks at it like an ice cream cone. The car got stolen. It's like ice cream. You dump your ice cream cone off on the ground. It sucks for a little bit, and then you just move on and just get another one. So that's the way he looks at it. He'll get mad for a little bit. So I wanted to kind of hopefully clarify a little bit. I've talked to him. I've explained to him. I've tried to coerce him, and not in a bad way, but tried to cajole him into moving. So Phil, you need to move. You need to get away from these people, and it's just not there. It doesn't register. He's a grown man. I can't. He doesn't want to live in any kind of apartment where other older folks are. He just doesn't want to do it. He's not going to do it. So I quit trying to talk to him about it. He's around the people that he understands. And the bad part is, with a few exceptions, they're just terrible people. They're scum. They're the worst redneck scum. Anybody that would steal something from an elderly person, there's a special place in hell waiting on you. Say that. So, but he doesn't, he doesn't have any, it's just not there. In his mind, in his head, in his brain, it's not there to do better. This is all he's ever known from the time that he moved away from his parents' house after they died when he was in his 30s till now, 40 years later. He just has never known any other way of life, and he doesn't, like I said, I've given him a couple of cars. I've sold him stuff cheap. He's had nice stuff, and everything he's had is nice has turned into crap. And that's another thing. He can't understand. He thinks that he's taking care of stuff, and he's not. That Sorrento he had, that blue one that you saw a long time ago, he bought that off a dealer lot and gave I don't know how much money for it. And I told him, Phil, I said, this thing has a timing belt on it. You need to change the timing belt. He just, talks. Oh, yeah, we'll get changed, yeah. And he went through 3 different engines in that thing because of neglect. Well, the last one, what happened to it that finally killed it was he went into the hospital and somebody drained the oil out of it. It's another one of those pieces of human scum up there. So that's what happened. So he drove it and it shelled it out and locked it up. So, and he does the usual thing. Take it apart. And we'll be looking for an engine. That never happened. Never does happen. It's never going to happen. And so, yeah. and it's frustrating. It's sad and it's frustrating. There's people that, what I don't understand is there's people that know Phil and they allege to care about him, but apparently they're not anybody. There's no one up there that knows Phil, who will intervene up there and look out for him, because every time he goes into the hospital, he has these episodes of, he calls pneumonia. I don't know what it actually is, but every time he has one of these episodes, the the vultures, the human scum, the trashy redneck vultures up there, they descend on that place and pick it clean. They'll drain oil out of cars. They'll steal cars. They'll steal everything he's got, And I questioned him. I said, Phil, how did they take a car? How did they take it if there's no keys there? And he just kind of vague about it. So I look at it like, he trusts these people. All they have to say is, oh, yeah, well, look at, he's got a dog. He's got a dog up there, so the dog overrules everything. Of course, it doesn't matter whatever happens, anything else. Somebody's there to feed the dog, and I don't know how that's managed to take place. I mean, so he basically just throws the door open for whatever kind of putrid, horrible person that wants to come in there. If they just at least promise to feed his dog, he'll let them have the keys to the kingdom. So that's why it happens. And his long-term friend, and it's not anything like that. I've had people allege that, oh, this must be something else going on there. There's not. They just know each other from years and years, from back in Michigan. This guy's 52 years old. He's my age, and he himself is supposed to have taken on the responsibility of looking after Phil. He himself can't get his shit together enough to stay out of jail, stay out of prison. So it's hell on earth up there, guys. And, again, hey, there's people that watch my videos that know Phil, and one of them's his brother, and I'm not trying to shame anybody, but, unless you just want to see the guy put out on the street, somebody up there is going to have to take on, I can't do it. I have to be like tomorrow. This Sunday is tomorrow Sunday. I have to go to South Georgia and work that's my life. That's what I have to do. It's my responsibilities. And I've helped Phil every way from creation. I don't know what else to do. I've urged him to move. I've not loaned him money, I've given him money. I've given him medicine. I've given him cars. I've given him food. I've done everything. Somebody's asked about, well, why don't you take him in up here? Well, Phil, that's because Phil's made it clear he does not want to live here with me, because he likes his freedom, and, I'm all for freedom. I like my freedom too, and Phil wouldn't keep me from having my freedom. But the thing is those are his people down there. That's his group of flunky friends for the most part. And I don't want him anywhere around here, because I'm going to tell you what, the first thing of mine that ever got taken or damaged or taken away up here, well, we're not going to say it on here, but I'd find you. I'd find you. That's for sure. You just don't even go there, because I had a car stolen one time, and I don't know who did it. But that changed me as a person. That matured me very quickly, and it very quickly matured my suspicion of other people, and my forward thinking is don't just live in the moment. You think about what every one of these scumbags is going to do, and you outsmart them and you outthink them. Because people who do stuff like that, they're up in that area. Those rednecks, they're stupid. They don't know. That's why they always get caught and have their face put on a mug shot in the just busted newspaper. But anyway, I'm sorry to see that, because that was kind of getting to be a rare car, and I'd consider maybe trying to trade Phil back for it or just buy it back from him. But, it's over. You don't, I can thinking about it. I had to go take that road trip today. I was trying to think about what have I sold or given to Phil as far as cars and trucks. I sold him that Elantra, but he ran into it, needed some work on it, and I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. Sold it, repoed it. I don't know. I bought him a 1992 Chevy or GM, I think it was a GMC extended cab truck. He drove it. It's gone. Don't know what happened to it. I sold him that red 93. I don't know if you guys sold that. or saw that truck, but that might have been before you too. But I had a 93 short wheelbase, short bed Dodge D150. It's a nice truck, but needed a transmission. So I sold that to him cheap. He drove it for a while, gone. What else? I had an 86 Mustang 4-cylinder coupe, sold it to him cheap. It's gone. Don't know whatever happened to it. What else? I had that Suzu Rodeo that he liked. And just bugged me and bugged me. And finally I sold it to him, and I didn't even get the money for it. He wrecked it. One of his scumbag friends drove it somewhere and wrecked it, totaled it. So I never got paid for that. What else? That silver short bed Dodge truck, that 99 I had, I sold it to him or traded it. I think I traded him back for the green car. I'm sure I lost money on that deal. And all of a sudden it disappeared. On too. And then that Grand Fury, he bought it, cheap, and it's gone. So they're just, it's just no more. You could look at me and think, well, why haven't you learned your lesson? It's because I didn't want to learn my lesson with him. I didn't want to believe that he's just incapable of ever taking care of anything. But I'm Phil's the last person that I would ever be harsh to about stuff like that, because I understand. You guys, you just have to understand. I've been around a lot of people. You have to understand sometimes you run into people that they can't learn. They're incapable. He can't learn. He doesn't learn. That's why he didn't graduate school. He can't hardly read or write. It's just like dealing with a kid. So it is what it is, I mean, I'm not going to punish him. There's no way I'd do that. I've known him too long, and Phil's not got a mean bone in his body. He's not malicious, but he can't learn. So if I ran across a cheap, like $100 car, I might just buy it for him and give it to him, just have him something so he can just at least sit it out in his yard out there and look at it. It's the way it is. We had a guy that was on YouTube used to just wear me out about Phil. How bad Phil was, how bad a guy Phil was, how Phil wasn't going to change. He's right about that. Phil wasn't ever going to change because he can't. One of us, we can learn. Something gets stolen from us or broken, especially if it's a repeat offender, break stuff. Hey, never again. But he just can't, guys. You just have to just accept it. So I'm sorry the car's gone. I hope that he would be able to at least take care of it and keep it from being taken away from him. But it's like everything else. It comes down to, as soon as he trusts somebody, misplaced trust. So if he trusts somebody and has to go away, go in the hospital, it's gone. I mean, he never calls me about stuff. Phil doesn't want to call me about things like that because he knows a lot of times he gets too bad a reaction from it. I would say, hey, Phil, why don't you just, I'll come down there and put it on a trailer and bring it up here and keep it, and then I'll bring it back to you. But it's just, it would never work for several different reasons. All right, guys, I'm sorry for the bad news. Anyway, I'm going to try to relax the rest of the day, so take it easy. Hope everybody else is doing well. Sorry that there haven't been many videos lately. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I've been putting some content for videos together, but this has been a very busy summer. So stay tuned. Hang in there with me. So appreciate everybody. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one.